Generic Demon. And this is What's on the Tape, Season 7, Volume 5. Now, this is the second side of that Spanish tape that I got last week from my friend Eduardo. It was a kind of hit and miss, and we'll see if we get any better. I have put it in a tape drive. It does sound a bit wobbly. It's kind of a noise rather than a sort of like type thing, a nice sort of solid specky noise. So, but without messing around any further, let's get it in a tape drive. Let's see what we can find out. Right. Okay, so we're here. So let's go with the old load dit. We'll do that. Load speech marks. And we'll give it a try. And fingers crossed. Now, I have the tape recorder beside me with the adapter. I have my mobile phone spare for if we need to use PlayZX. That's in the description below. I sometimes forget to say that, but it's actually there. It's definitely in the description below. Unless it's a good start already. You can. Yeah, there's nothing coming through there. This is what I heard when I put it on earlier, that this sort of, wobbly sort of getting into it. But yes, description below if you ever need to use it yourself. PlayZX, fantastic way, because if you're like me, you love the process of loading. I think there's an anticipation that comes with loading games that's just phenomenal. Let's see. Oh, hang on. Right, okay, we'll do a load code on that. We'll see whether we can get that to work. Because if we can get something to work, we might be okay. We did this last time round. We got Fred to load last week with when we did the. Yeah, I think that's just the title sequence bit again. We'll see if we can get this to load, because we got that. As I said, we got Fred to load last week when we did this. So we got lucky. In the past, we had what was that robot one? Was the Robot Rampage one that was a bit like Berserk, the Atari game and the arcade game, the Atari 2600 game. I know that you gotta tell people what they actually are. I actually got a complaint in one of my comments about the fact that I didn't specify which Atari. The 2600, the 5200, or the 7800. It's weird, really, that you get that. Actually, that's really weird as well. I've bought an Evercade. For good or bad, I bought an Evercade. It's a British company. This is not going to be. We're not going to be able to do anything with this, are we? Hang on, we'll delete that. Run. There's nothing to run. Yeah, that's the nature of the beast. Let's do another load dit. We'll see whether we can find anything else on this. So I bought an Evercade for good or bad. And I thought I'll get this thing. Now it's by Blaze. They are a British company. They do put their bits and pieces out to China to make. So the pandemic did delay its sort of arrival. It was meant due in sort of March, and it kind of arrived. Was it June last month? I'd pre-ordered it. It was not a very expensive console. It's £40, I think, is the cost of the console, and the cartridges themselves are all 15 quid. However, they're all compilations, so they include they promise between 6 and 20 games for every cartridge to produce. The cartridges come in a little plastic box. They have an instruction manual with telling you about each individual game. The console itself is very well built. It's very robust. It's about the right size for somebody of my age, and I can see it. I found myself playing Gallagher and other variations of games on it, so sitting just playing them, and I did enjoy that. However, they have a big problem. Their problem is that they need to license the arcade versions, and they haven't. So what you end up with is like Bad Dudes vs. Jagged Dragon Ninjas ends up being the Nintendo Entertainment System version, a version that I never played as a kid. I didn't have a Nintendo Entertainment System. I remember seeing one in Boots once, playing Mario, but being more impressed by the light gun game. I was more impressed by... Oh, that's not nice. You can load that one. That one looks like it can be loaded. More impressed by... Come on. There's one there. I can see it. I'm going to tape recorder out for this. But more impressed by Duck Hunt than I was by Mario, because I was like one of them dual cartridges then. So I was more impressed by that. Sorry, I'm leaning around here, I've forgotten to plug it in like an idiot. Let me just plug it in. Oh, and I knocked off the screen for some reason. I don't know why. I didn't knock it, to be honest. Right. But more impressed by that. So what the Evercade's done is they've licensed things, but they are licensed versions of Mega Drive games, which they've got very. And in fairness, the emulation is on the cartridge rather than on the device itself. The device itself is just basically a processor, and they've licensed things like. I'd say Dragon Ninjas versus whatever else. They've licensed Mega Drive ones, one of the best emulators for the Mega Drive as well. It's capable of doing the things that most emulators can't actually do. So they've licensed those, and they've licensed the SNES emulators. They've licensed they've obviously licensed a Nintendo Entertainment System. However, they won't say that in the things in case they get into trouble. And they've got 2600 and various Atari things. They've always had the Atari things. They made an Atari handheld, which I have as well. And they've licensed these things, and they've made a real effort. Some of them are good and some of them are bad. The problem was that they were all originally arcade games, so you would hope that you would get the arcade. This is going to be a classic if it loads. This looks like Attic Attack. Yep, Ultimate's version of Attic Attack. I'm going to turn the volume down. I'll tell you a bit. It's crackling away a bit there. But yeah, so they've licensed these wonderful, some really great titles, but they haven't got them. Now, I actually tweeted them and asked the question when because they said ask us anything. I said arcade titles, when they're coming, and they said 2021. So it's not that long away. The console itself is cheap. It does exactly what it's meant to do. And by cheap, I don't mean cheap quality. The quality's brilliant. The cartridges fit so snugly that it's so smooth. It's beautiful. It's a lovely fitting sort of cartridge and device. It's a bit too snug. I think it's the way to describe it. But it's really good, and I really like it. And I have to admit, I found myself when I'm doing some exercise, because my exercise is basically walking. I've been really good since all the lockdown started. Really putting the effort in. I mean, I've been dieting since the beginning of the year, and I say dieting. I don't follow any bloody shakes and all this crap. I mean, I don't. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't matter. But I don't do any of that kind of stuff. I just basically control my calories. I reduce my calories. Did sort of the 5 and 2 for 6 weeks. Stopped doing that because of the sort of knock-on effects of starvation that goes with that, and your body kind of holds things in as a result. But I kind of killed that off, and I went for and I'm doing sort of calorie counting to sort of I kind of eat between 2,000 and 2,200 calories a day. It doesn't matter what it is though. If I want to bung down a bunch of sweets, I can bung down a bunch of sweets. It's just I won't have any calories or anything left for anything decent. So I kind of manage my meals as a result. I manage the household meals because I do most of the cooking anyway. So it's really good, and I've enjoyed that. But I don't even know why I've got onto sidetracked here with calories. Anyway, beginning of the year, lockdown, I've been doing some exercise, and I can't remember why I've got it. That's right, yes, exercise and an Evercade. So lockdown came, I started to do more exercise. I would walk around the garden and locally and around whatever else, and getting my sort of your general daily steps up. Get the old phone and the smartwatch, all them clever things that you can do nowadays. And I basically started doing more walking. But I would recently I've discovered on myself walking with the Evercade in my hand and playing sort of Gallagher is the big one. The Gallagher, I seem to play a lot of Gallagher. I like Gallagher or Pac-Man and things like that. But got to remember, a lot of them, some of them. I missed the 2600. I had one friend with a 2600, Atari 2600. And the only game I really remember is Solar Fox, and even then I didn't remember the name. I thought it was called Solaris, and Solaris is a completely different game on the game on the Atari 2600. Solar Fox is actually based on an arcade game. I didn't even know that until I found Solar Fox, and I found that it was an arcade game, and I was delighted that I discovered that because, to be fair, it's really, really good. It's just a simple sort of dot collecting game with things that move up and down, left and right on the screen. So there's one that's going horizontally and the one that's going vertically, and they shoot when they kind of you cross their thing, and they shoot one shot which goes across, and then you clear this sort of almost pack pellet like thing. It really needs up, down, left, right, and that's it. Realistically, it's not hugely exciting, but I enjoyed playing it back in the day, and the arcade game is actually really good. I really like it. Problem is you need a four directional joystick for that, not one of these sort of more modern bits and more modern sort of directional joysticks, but it's fine. It works okay. It works okay. But yeah, the Evercade works really well. Not cheap at all in the context of the build. They've hit their marketplace spot on. I'm just watching this now. Wow, it loaded. I'm a tad surprised by that, actually. Now, this is the Ashby Computer, the games or graphics? I can't remember, guys. You remember in the comments. Also known as Ultimate, play the game. Also known as Rare, who still exists to this day. It's really, it's brilliant to see this. I don't understand how these companies disappeared. I think they just got rich and then everybody retired on the money. I think that's what actually happened with most people. Anyway, I recently played the Commodore 64 remake, or make of this, recently. Absolutely stunning. It destroys previous versions. However, the Spectrum version is still an absolute corker. It is really a brilliant game. I remember getting it back in 1983, so a long time ago. Getting it back in 1983, and I'm loving the cover and being enamoured by it. However, the keys are rubbish. They're QW QW ERT, so QWERTY basically across there, and Z mixed them up. Whoever thought that those were good keys at Ultimate were sadly wrong. They're crap keys. They're horrible. So the idea is you've been trapped in this lovely little mansion here, and you basically have your little character, and there's food to collect, and your little chicken goes down as your energy. And the idea of the game is to collect all 3 parts of the key. I think it's 3. 3? Yes, it is 3. 3 parts of the key that allow you to escape from the building. So there is a set map. The first time you play it, all of the items are in the same place. I can't remember where they are though. Don't ask me to do that. However, to be fair, I'm just playing this now, and although the Commodore 64 version is very smooth, it doesn't beat the Spectrum on speed. The Spectrum is definitely the faster of the two. It's a much slicker experience than that. Anyway, so there's lots of keys that are blocked. I can't go through those. I can go through bookcases, I believe. Yeah, certain people have certain abilities to go through certain other... I'll get some food. Certain other doorways, if that makes sense, to get it. But you have to collect these keys, and you've got keys to go through other doors. There's a green key. That'll open this door here permanently. These can be opened by the surf. These ones here can be opened by the surf. The wizards go through bookcases. I go through grandfather clocks. That's what I go through. So there's one there, for instance. Let's open this door. Be careful not to fall down the hole. And you can go through the bookcases like that to allow you to skip past things. So there's lots of secrets, and the idea is it's a very logical design. There are modern remakes of it. Is it the opposite way around? It's like Tactic or something like that, which is like the new version of it. I'm going to go this way. Basically, we're looking for these keys. There's one false part to the keys as well. There's a false part. And as I say, the first time you play it, everything's in the same place. After that, it randomises it. So your next game, everything's randomised. Back in the day, and I always say this when I play this, and I've never done it and proved it. I should need to prove it one day for you all. Back in the day, I could finish this in under 9 minutes. That was my personal speedrun record for it. And that was from... I don't even remember if it was from the... I'm going around in circles here, by the way. I'm going to drop down this hole. Starting from sort of the scratch and going around the whole thing and making my way to the exit. It's a stunning game. It looks fantastic. To be fair, the Commodore 64 version looks the business, but this version is just beautiful. The Spectrum version is just beautiful, and because it set it all off, you can't really say anything other than it's really good. It's a really good game. I highly recommend it. I see you starve to death as well after a while if you don't get all the food. I really recommend it. The sound of it is just it's brilliant. There have been remakes as well for the PC. There's a PC one on my channel. I think before I did anything clever with it. It's just gameplay footage. It's not very good. The PC version, in my opinion, it's not as good as the Spectrum. Spectrum is just. To be fair, the Commodore 64 version, you know, I joked in my video about it that it ruined me forever. It ruined Attic Attack for me forever. It hasn't. Playing it again, this is probably the first time I've played it since that review, unless I've done something else in between. I don't think I have. Since then, it hasn't ruined it. The Spectrum version is still an absolutely stonking game. It really is. It's one that I have original versions of it. He hurts you, by the way. You can get him to move away if you've got certain items. It's like there's certain like big monsters within the game. But it's still a stonking game. It's still an absolutely. It's a monster. It's just a really good. So smooth. I mean, look how slickly I'm moving around these levels. Game. It really is. And to be fair, it doesn't take you long to get used to the stupid keys again. By the way. Even though they're there and that's a straight line. I remember, I think, when I started getting my Spectrum back again and playing these again, I was like, oh, why the hell did they do that? Why? Frankenstein, you need a spanner to upset Frankenstein or kill him. Go wait for those magic doors to open again. I like the way they bang open and shut like a proper haunted house when they're doing whatever else it's. The mushrooms kill you. Yeah, there's the spanner. So if I get the spanner, I can go back. I don't think I can kill him. I think it keeps him away. I think it keeps him away. Let's go scare him, though. Let's go scare Frankie. Here we go. Nope, kills him. Forgot. Kills him. Cross kills Dracula, obviously. Oh, the vampire. I love the reuse of some of the sprites, by the way. Some of these sprites, some of the monster sprites appear in other games. I've seen them in Psst, which is another great game from these guys. They made some lovely, brilliant arcade games. I mean, and this, we were ready for this. This is a great game. This is a fantastic game. 3 different characters to choose from and an 8-bit computer. Wow. I mean, they were spoiling us with that, weren't they? Green door. Go through the green door. Oh, look, see, he wants to be away from me. He doesn't want to be near me because I've got the cross, you see. So Dracula's frightened in the corner. Can't go through the book. Cyan door. I haven't found a bit of the key yet. I have probably been looping around on myself like an idiot. It's one of these games you could map. There's a funny room up the top stairs which kind of interlinks several other rooms. But it's definitely a mappable game. So we've gone up 1 floor, we've gone up 2 floors, we're onto the top floor here. Even though you don't realise it. And this is there's a funny room here, I believe, that interlinks them. We'll just go through this door. You just fire all the time, by the way. If you haven't noticed, I'm firing my axe all the time because it makes sense. It's the easy thing to do. I'm so chuffed that this one's loaded. It's a good game. So it hasn't been a complete disaster this time around. I can't remember what the leaf's for. The leaf's for something special about the leaf. Let's go in this room here anyway. Through there. We're actually back to the main doorway, I think. It's here. Ah, but we've got a key that goes through there. That's where I died earlier. Right, okay. I'm not doing very well here. Not found a single part of the key. They're probably on the top floor, aren't they? Let's go this way. So it's an ACG key, just like the name of the company. Which is kind of cool. Do you not think so? I think so. It's a cracking game. What's the whip for? This is a whip, by the way. I think there's some red herrings. I remember reading about various red herrings. There's certainly a red herring in the sense of there's an additional part of the key that doesn't work with anything. It's kind of there's a bit of the key. There's a bit of the key. Let's take it back to the front door and put it there. That's the G from the key. We're doing really well on this. Whizzing through the levels. Oh no, didn't mean to fall down there. I wanted to go back to the doorway. I wonder if there's a... Oh, it's down to the cellar. Uh-oh, there's a devil. Right, we don't want to go that way. We fell down 1 level, so we need to go back up a level, I think. There's 1 level up. Ah, there we go, ACG. I think there's a special location you drop it. In the room, if I remember rightly. Might be wrong. So there's the G part of it. We need the AC bit of it. I think this is 4 parts. I can't remember. There's definitely a bogus part though. There is like a red herring part that doesn't work at all. Here we go. That's back to the main doorway. Look, it says ACG on it. We're going to go this way. I'm going to go that way. Oh, look, hang on. We'll go through there. Been in there. I could be here a while because I've remembered how to play, and now that I've got my keys working right, I could be a while. Wait, so I think 8 minutes 15 seconds is probably enough for this particular game. So let's eject that tape from the other drive. It's on the floor. I'm reaching down to get it. I've got it! Hurrah! Maybe it's well to leave it in that drive actually, because it seems to be having. Because you can turn the volume up, you see, with the tape drive. This is the only issue with plus twos and their plus twos and their internal tape drives or tape decks. I always used to call them tape drives, to be honest with you. Tape drive was always what I called them. Tape deck is probably the proper terminology for it, isn't it, really? Right, okay, let's go. That was a good start, though. You always got, if you do, okay, good start beyond the faulty one that we give 4, but it was a good start. I was pleased with that. Here we go. Oh, okay. Must have been a game straight after it. No, it's just the end of Attic Attack. I don't remember rewinding it. Not at all. Don't remember rewinding it at all. Very weird. Or maybe that's actually something there. Let's rewind that a little bit. Right, let's break this and let's do a load code. Because it might actually be something. I can't see it underneath the stupid upscaler. I need a decent upscaler. That's what I need. I need a good one. I have I use an OSSC, which is the open source. I can't remember what it stands for now. But an open source, basically a viewer of things, and it's really good. It's really, really excellent. I can't really fault it for what it is. No, I don't want to do that one. Yeah, not that one. Let's do another one. Load code. Because it should be the D after this one. Different noise, that one as well, definitely. Oh, screen. Horizon. So it's been cut off, whatever this was, overwritten by Attic Attack. Oh, checkered flag. I don't know if... Oh no, Flight Simulator. I thought it was checkered flag for a minute there. I don't know what it was about that made me think it was checkered flag. These guys should just do loads of things. I think this has cropped up before. I was going to say I didn't think I played it before, but I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see if it loads, actually. It'll be interesting to see if it loads. No, it's only going to do the screen. It's only going to do the screen. Oh. Let's see if we can load it, something else. Let's see what else is on here. Actually, if it's code, we might be able to get it to load, actually. Yeah, it's code. Rewind the tape a little bit. It didn't sound nice when I was doing it, but we'll rewind the tape here. If I press break, we might be able to do a load code here and get this thing to actually load. That would be kind of cool. I think it has cropped up before. I mean, you got to remember what an attempt at a feat of sort of programming genius. You were trying to put in a flight simulator into 48K. I mean, I know that obviously there's 16K games. There's some really impressive 16K games that I really like. I mean, Sir Lancelot's one of my faves. It's obviously a platformer. You have to be kind of like those platformers, but it's a pretty tough platformer. But it's so beautiful. It's such a tiny little game. Is it the other one? There's a Baddies, but Baddies backwards, like sub. I can't remember how to pronounce it, but it's like Baddies backwards from Houston, where you drive around a sort of three-dimensional city. I'm quite convinced that is. I'm quite convinced that actually is a I'm quite convinced that's actually a 16K game too. Oh, coffee! Excellent coffee. Phone. The doorbell has just gone. So somebody's coming down to get it, I think. Yeah, doorbell just went for some reason. Don't know what that is. I don't remember ordering anything that requires the door opening. They're looking now, I think. It's very exciting. I might have to pause this though, because I don't think anybody's gone to the door. Let me just pause this, and I'll come back to you. Hopefully this will load by the time you get back. Hang on a second. Right, sorry about that. Disaster struck as well while we've been doing that. Look, we've got an R-tape loading error. So I moved the tape drive onto my chair, pushed the buttons to kind of do the usual sort of thing, and of course it crashed while I went to the front door to get something from one of the nation's finest delivery companies. That'll be the Hermes. They delivered something. It's been a funny day for delivery. I've had a few deliveries, a few things. My wife has bought some gifts from my son, and they've been delivered sort of across the day for his upcoming birthday. We'll say a quietly birthday. They've been delivered across the days, and I'm guessing this is another one of those gifts. But they rang the doorbell. Everybody was upstairs, sort of, you get one of them was daughter's getting out of bed, son's playing upstairs, and wife was in the bathroom. So I had to get up, go, moved it over. Of course, we've got an R-tape error, so that's a really good thing. Not. I can't believe we sat through. Well, at least you didn't sit through all of the loading. All right. Yeah. Let's see what else we got on here. We may come back to that in a bit. Flight simulator. Oh God. Did you hear that? It was like it was not a happy bunny. At least I can hear some. I'm just. Sounds horrible. No wonder it didn't finish loading. Gosh. That sounds terrible. Let's fast forward a bit. See if we can get a bit further on. It was only speculative anyway that whether that loaded or not, because of the fact is that it was. Oh yeah, okay. Nice solid sound. Let's see what happens with this nice solid sound here. It was only speculative that this would load, because, I mean, to be fair, we loaded the screen. It was only partially loaded on the tape anyway. So we'll see whether or not we get something else. Ooh, lovely. TLL. Tornado low level. Loading time, 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Right. TLL is by Vortex. I want to say Vortex Software. I'm sure it's Vortex Software. They did Alien Highway. Or Highway. It's Alien Highway Encounter? Alien Highway? I think it's I'm sure it's Alien Highway. They also did Cyclone, which is, these are some of my favourite. I'm not a big fan of isometric, but these guys made some good isometric. Isn't that funny? But these were kind of more arcadey. Yeah, Vortex, I was right. Vortex Software. TLL is basically you fly a tornado, which you can sort of flip into high and low things. And the aim of the game is to fly around collecting dots. I know it doesn't sound very good, but the graphics are stunning for the time. These are really, really good. This is a really good game. I'm noticing his name actually as well, Costa. Do you think he was Spanish as well? It was a Spanish game, Vortex Spanish. They possibly were. Now, I didn't have this officially, a bit like it's loading now. This came in one of those tapes, and that's how I saw Cyclone. To be fair, I didn't even see the cassette until later in life. I have to admit, the cassette looks rubbish. If they put a great big tornado on the front of it, like zipping along, they probably would have sold more copies, I think. I think they probably sold copies off the back of possibly reviews and people playing it and going, it's great, and copies that were there. But the actual sort of cover for this is, I think it's just this TLL like that. I mean, to be fair, even as a loading screen, that's a bit naff, innit? I mean, it doesn't really show you what kind of quality you're actually expecting. It is a quality game. It is really, really, really good. It's very enjoyable, and I have to admit, it's one of those games. I was watching. Who was I watching? Retro Bear. I'll put a link in the description to his channel below. I was listening to, actually, he did a podcast, a Desert Island sort of discs type thing, you know. If you had a system that could run every system you ever had, you know, perfectly, and probably even emulate the experience, you know, what 6 games would you really want to have with you? Which one would you be that you feel is underrated, and which one would you absolutely hate to be a part of it? So basically, it's 8 games in total across the whole thing. And I was listening to him and Retro48k. Again, I'll put a link in the description below to Retro48k. He's the chap who did my marvellous intro sequence. Love it. It's absolutely brilliant. But he basically you know, asked that question of what was there, and it was quite interesting, really, because I find it really hard to choose my desert island games. I think that's the problem with the Spectrum. The library was so massive. I mean, could you cheat? Is the question, though, on your desert island games, because there are, for instance, a number of computer hit compilations which include, or I mean, even take the Taito collection, because that has Mikey and a number of other things in it. That's a really good collection. It has a Bubble Bobble in it. Did it have Rainbow Islands? But either way, it's a good collection. You know, could you cheat with a collection? Because I also could go with the one with the Juggernaut in, for instance, for the Spectrum. I'd quite like that one. You know, or just looking behind me. I think it was the Hit Packs. 6 of the best, or whatever it is. That had Bomb Jack, Split Personalities, the Sacred Armor of Antrid. What else has it got in it? Fighting Warrior. I can't quite see it. My eyesight's terrible. But Fighting Warrior. It had Jet Set Willy 2 in it. It had Batty in it. That's a good selection. You know, I'd have that one. That's a good selection. I might actually be able to finish, you know, Jet Set Willy 2 if I actually was stuck on a desert island for that length of time. But I would also want games that have got replayability. So it's not just finishing it, it's replayability, isn't it? So you need a shoot 'em up of some sort that's either continuous or whatever else it is. You need to sort of, this is why you're into Gallagher's and things like that. You just keep playing and playing and playing and playing. So your Evercade, realistically. Your Evercade is possibly your desert island thing, apart from the fact that it's got those NES versions of games on it. But that's possibly where you're at. But I don't know. It's a tough one. It's an extremely tough one for me. I find it a very hard sort of decision to make on any of these. Anyway, press a key. Right, can we define the keys, or to press 5 for instructions? 5 for instructions. Briefing. Sweep back wings for high speed. Maximum, low level. Yeah, okay. Press a key. So, I forgot all of these things. You've got the altimeter. You've got the fuel gauge. Enemy targets, which are those circles that you've got to collect. Time limit. Destroyed. Any other key. There we go. So, 1, Q, G, and X to take off, and wing mode. Oh, that's alright. I can live with those keys. They're not too bad. M for the landscaped map, and P or Z to whatever else it's M for a map. Right, that's cool. Press 6 to start. So there's our targets. Right, okay. Oh no! Ag! You can't do that to me. I got to the point where we loaded it. Right, end of the tape. End of this thing. We're doing a quick. I'll probably put the old Omni in, and we'll load it up, because it was a 48k game, and I found that. Do you remember that? That was the spaghetti thing, which was basically, or Bugatti thing, which was basically a spaghetti thing, was a possibility. So that only worked on a 48k version of Spectrum. So we'll do that. We'll see what else is on here, though. Oh my goodness, TLL's definitely going to go on there. TLL's an easy one, though. It's a good game. It's a good game. We'll get that on the old. Just hearing the noises there. Oh, here we go. TLL. Tornado low level. Oh, loader. Interesting. What's this? No actual information on what we're going to get. We might get something Spanish, hopefully. Oh, what's that? ages. I don't know. This could be another Toposoft game, I think. I'm getting a feeling it could be because we've had one last time on the other side of it. Toposoft being a Spanish company that was only around for a short-lived. I say short-lived. They're back again. They're back. I think some of the original members have brought it all back again recently. Certainly with their Hit Squad re-releases. So yeah, and they did some. They had release of some nice games. So this could be one. Last week's was really interesting. It's sort of a Persian feel sort of game where you were exploring, looking. It was looking for the princess is what we were doing. We were looking for a princess. It's always the way they get lost so easily, don't they? Back in the 80s, there was a lot of lost princesses. Mario had to follow his around a lot. She was always getting captured by that Bowser. I mean, did she stand on the corner just shouting, "Hey Bowser, here I am, big boy, pick me up"? I think there was more to it. Mario, I think, needs to look into that relationship there because I think, and to be fair, why didn't he end up in prison? I mean, did Mario jump on his head in the end? I think he does, doesn't he, at the end of one of his games? I think that's what he does. But yeah, she was always getting kidnapped by Bowser. See, Sonic was rescuing little animals. He was cute animals is what Sonic was rescuing, if you remember, in the first one. Because whenever you spun on the top of one of those robotic ones, Dr. Robotica, who changed them into those sort of robotized things, they turned into smaller versions of the cute versions of themselves. So he was rescuing small animals. He worked for an animal sanctuary as an animal himself. He worked for the Hedgehog Rescue. That was what it was. No, he didn't. But I'm just making it up as I go along at this point. Here's a game. There's two games, by the way, I've just mentioned in one of there, that would not be on my desert island. Mario and Sonic. Simply because I can't get into either of them. I had a Mega Drive back in the day, like a lot of people did. I still have a Mega Drive. I have 4, because you've got to have spares in case one blows up. But it was just a game that I never got into. I never got into the Sonic thing. Sonic is just this blue bloody hedgehog that never really grabbed me. Oh, there was some digitized speech there. It's not what I think it is. Quicksilver. Oh right, okay. What's my name? I think this is. Oh dear. Do I type my name in here? This is going to be bad. This is going to be bad. Uh-oh, these are the keys. Colour or black and white telly, this is. Colour, yes. Black and white colour? I hope I'm going to say colour. C for colour? No. Colour? Yes. No. I don't know what I'm answering. It's chess! After all that, it's chess. Oh, brilliant. I have no idea what I was playing. So that's the Spanish for chess then, gents. It's my turn, I guess. So if I do... I must have chosen to be black in the colours. So instead of yes or no. Right, okay. So if I do E7 to E5, that's the initial move of my pawn. Oh, he's thinking. Computer's thinking. It's chess! I had no idea that's what the Spanish for chess was. But there we go. We got chess. Amazing. Not what I expected. Sip of coffee time. It's thinking, I think. Do I have to type something else? No, it's thinking. It's on a think. It's not that tough. How many moves does it aid? There we go. We have moved the horsey into position. The horsey, the knight. Okay, G8. I'm going to do G8 to because it moves in L shapes. F6. There you go. That means his pawn is in trouble because I'm currently pointing at it. He's thinking now. He's having a good hard think. Right. Well, I'm wondering whether or not I can get out. There's a way to do checkmate in so many moves. I'm just wondering if I can get away with it. I'll see if the computer's trying to think the same thing. So what I'm gonna do is, did he move? Oh, he moved his other horsey. Right. Okay, that's fair enough. I am now going to do. I'll see if we can do it. F8 to. I think I'm getting the wrong one. I think I've got the queen in my sights, not the king. I think I'm going the wrong way around about this, but we'll try. I don't. The king, queen. She'll be on his left. No, it might be the king. Might be the king. F. Whatever else to C5. 5 there. Let's see if he can block the defense or the attack. So the next move I make is I move the knight from F6 to G4, and then I move the bishop right in there, and then that's effectively. Is it checkmate? No, it's not checkmate. Oh, I've forgotten how to do it. This is a 4-move job. It's check anyway. That's a serious check, actually. Was I meant to do it with the queen? I think I probably was meant to do it with the queen, actually, because the queen's kind of get the queen in there to defend it. He's taking my pawn, that's fine. So what I need to do now is I need to move that thing there. We'll give him see if we can get a check. F6 to G4. And then we'll whiz the bishop in a second, watch. Unfortunately, it's not going to be checkmate because he can just move up. But he's a bit stuck, really, because I'm right on top of it. Oh, no, he's going to take it. He's going to take it with his horsey. I've just noticed. I made an idiotic move there. Never mind. Go on, then. There you go. Right, with that, off. Chess. Game of Thrones? Not quite. Game of Champions. Is that Game of Champions? Is that what it was? Chess, the Game of Champions? Don't remember that in any booklets. It's been a long time since I've actually sat and played chess. Oh, Othello. Or Reverse. Depends whether it is Othello. It could be Othello as in Shakespeare style Othello. But again, of course, it could just be Reverse, which is basically a game where the idea of the game is to flip over other counters by sealing them in. So if you've got a white counter, few black counters, and then another white at the end of it, it then flips over the 2 black counters in between. So it's anything in between gets flipped over. The real win in the game is to get the corners. Once you've got the corners, you can effectively flip over everything that's there very quickly. Oh! There was a bit of voice. It's saying something. I didn't catch it though. There was a little teeny bit of voice. Oh, it's loaded. It's loaded. Wow, that was quick. That was really quick. Do I want instructions? No. Experto. Inexperienced. That's me. 3. Inexperto. Oh, it's already passed it some over there. So my turn. I would like to put my one at. You see, it's given me 2 corners already to help me out. So if I want to put mine at C4. C4. Enter. And that turns that one. See how I blocked it in? It turned it colours. So he can now put his at some other place. He's thinking. That was a really quick load, actually, wasn't it? I suppose it's a simple game. I don't think it's a simple game. Because there is strategy involved in it. As I say, getting the corners is the big strategy. I guess with the next, the inexperienced mode, that you probably only get 1 corner, and I guess with the expert mode, you get none. It's having a damn good think about this. It's trying all the options, I think. It's thinking very hard. So am I. I don't even know what's been delivered actually yet. I've just brought it through in the front room, but I'm going to assume my missus is going to have a little look at it. Do I have to press enter? I tell you what, how many moves are you thinking about doing, computer? Right. That's completely asleep. Oh, no, hang on, it hasn't. So, where do I want to go? I would want to go to D3.
D3.
Doesn't have to take a long time to think. It's thinking. It can get several here though. If it goes to C5 or E3, it can turn all of those black around that edge there. It's having a damn good think though, isn't it? It's a long pause. I guess I'm going to assume when we press the brake key in a minute that this is basic, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. We'll see whether or not it is though. But you get the general gist. Let's press the brake button because I can't be bothered to wait. There you go. It's basic program. List. Othello. Rem Othello. Technically, you could re-edit it in English if you wished. I like the how they made the text larger though. That was kind of a cool feature, wasn't it? I want to hack some of these. Have a little look at it at some point. You know. Did anybody ever actually write games in 128k basic? Did they ever give that a go? Did he ever do that? I know that there was obviously the original source. A lot of my stuff was all my stuff was 48k back in the day. I just wonder whether or not anybody actually did go for the old 128k, and whether there was any games that were written that turned out okay. Corsa code. Right. Okay. Let's rewind that a bit, see if we can get... There we go, Corsa. Cool. Here we go. Corsa code. Not one I recognise either. Corsa. Vauxhall Corsa? Don't know. Alright. I don't know what that means. It's going for it anyway. Don't stop the tape, maybe. We're loading. Here we go. A bit of screen action to tell us what's going on. So it wasn't what I thought it was when we did that other one. That load was chess. We've had Othello, chess. We've had Attic Attack, which is always a classic. It's an absolute storming game. We are a good 3/4 of the way through the tape. We have TLL to run at the end. I'll stick that on because there was a suggestion to leave it in, and thanks for the idea, Daryl. But the problem with leaving the loading thing in, so you have to turn it off and on and flip the switches to leave it continually connected to load from it. It's the DVMC. So it's a bit it can be a tad annoying. Oh god, I thought it was finished running there. Are these the keys? Left, right, accelerator. So 1, 2, 9 accelerator. 3, I guess is 8 is brake. That's alright, you can do those. That looks good actually. Paul Richards. Pole position. There we go. I like that. I was thinking about this the other day. The Spectrum has built into it a number of original graphics. It has a palette of built-in sort of graphical sprites you can use, which are quite chunky like these, which he's obviously used for this, I think. There we go. Stop. Want to use I for instructions, Kempston menu, I. Press enter. Right, okay, let's do it. I don't know what I've read there. I've pressed the enter key, pressed the brake key, I'm pressing every key. Aha! Oh, I thought they were... Oh, that car behind me's hitting me. That's what the problem is. Blooming car behind me keeps mashing into me. Oh, he's horrendous. What's he doing? That's not much fun, is it? I'm pushing every key again. I seem to hit the key correctly at the bottom. S to start. What a surprise. Right, okay. Can I move out your way? That's speed up. He just smashes into you straight away. I'm trying to move here, but it's not going very well. He's horrible! It's curse keys, by the way. It seems to be. How do you avoid that? You don't. He just crashes into you. He's just tracked right on the back of me, regardless of whatever I do. This is a bit... you can't move. You just literally can't move out of his way. So I get the speed up to the full blast. Yeah. He catches up with you and crashes into the behind of you, regardless of where you move. Wow, it's a bit of a bit faulty, isn't it? Wow. I wouldn't recommend that, unfortunately. Corsa did the auto. I'm guessing that means car in Corsa. Yes. Anyway, let's have a little look, see what else we've got on here. We're almost finished, as I say. We're almost at the end of the tape. And then we'll do the TLL. Simply because I haven't played TLL in ages, and I fancy going it, actually. If I'm honest. Let's press play. Let's see what we've got on here. Oh, that just went straight to sound, didn't it? So something's been overwritten. Here we go. Fingers crossed. Let's see what we got on here. Oh, it doesn't sound good. We've done alright. We've done alright with this tape. It's not been as brilliant, but it... program. Yeah. It's been alright. It's not been the best of tapes. We have had better. Pinball! Yes! I like a good pinball game. I have actually got one. I don't know if I've put the video up on it, but actually, to be honest with you, I do tend to try... It's the one as well. It's the Sagittarian software one. This is one of my favourite pinballs. This is one of the first games I think I used that special key software for to make a copy of that and Manic Miner. And it was... I remember this. I really enjoyed it. It's very much designed with the spectrum in mind. Single screen. It uses the whole screen. So instead of trying to attempt to make a table that goes up and down like pinball games traditionally are, it goes with the whole width of the effectively 4:3 aspect ratio of the spectrum. And it's only a 16K game. It works really well. I used to go around to my mate's house. We used to load this up and we used to play it. And we used to play it a lot. And the funny thing is, I'm not a big pinball fan, but I like this one. I say I'm not a big pinball fan. I'm not a big pinball fan because I never really got into them and never really played them. I went to an arcade thing, a number of years ago. Not that long ago, actually, now. Maybe longer, maybe 2-3 years. We went to something in Glasgow and in the Braehead Centre. Braehead. Yeah, I went there and they had lots of pinball machines and arcade machines. Now I was more interested in the arcade machines, but the kids quite liked the pinball game machines, which surprised me really because I didn't think they would. Right. Enter. I think it's 0 to push the ball. Space. 0. That's it. That's it. 0 to push space, and then half the keyboard's one set of flippers, and half the keyboard's the other set of flippers. I rather like this one. It's not going to set the world on fire, but I rather liked it. I rather liked it back in the day, and getting those letters at the top, those Sagittarian buttons or Sagittarian buttons, was kind of cool. Hitting the high and lows, it changes the scores. Look, the low, and now you've got the high at the top there. If you got it the right place, you got the high, and we try and get through all these letters. No, didn't do very much. This is the basic flippers. But as I say, 16K game, quite enjoyable. Simple enough. Number of balls left. It looks good as well. It just works really well on Specky. It runs quite nicely. Not bad physics either for the time. I tried doing ball physics once actually in a clone of Pong. I know that sounds like that should be really easy, but actually the physics are quite tough to do. You have to give weight to the item and develop all that. So you have to give weight and sort of various bits and pieces to it. And this game obviously had that weight there because this ball's flying along. It drops, and it doesn't drop like in a straight or funny angles. It does. There we go. Adding to the bonus if you get all those letters. It's a good bounce there. Look. There we go. I'll have another one of them. Another one of them. Come on. But weight and bounce and the way that it's coming down the screen, and speed and velocity based on how you're doing it, very clever. Realistically, you can almost predict its movement, which means that they got the ball physics right for a 16K game. Remember that as well. That's a 16K game that's playing this. Oh yes. That was really good. I enjoyed that. Simple game, well worth having. It's got a nice cover actually. I think it's just called Pinball normally, because it's obviously not named after the company for whatever reason. But I really liked it. Really good game. Enjoyed that one. Right. Okay. We are ploughing through this tape. It is almost done, which is good timing realistically, because it's almost lunchtime. I'll be a bit in trouble if nobody has their lunch in time. SOS. Now, this could be the Mastertronic isometric... No, it's not. It's not a game I recognise then. Vision's Software Factory. These guys released quite a lot of games. I've spoken about it before in the past. The one that obviously springs to mind is Sheer Panic, which has a beautiful cover. The art on the cover was brilliant, right? So it was the art on the cover was the main thing that attracted to me. But it was the game that I had to choose between that and Hungry Horace. And I've said this before when I got my Spectrum as a kid. And it was going to be a household computer, but I was allowed one game, and the guy talked me out of it, and I went for Hungry Horace, and I'm glad I did because I enjoyed Hungry Horace. But Vision's Sheer Panic was the game that was sort of second on the list, and playing it later, and I think I must have bought it later. It's not Dig Dug, a Dig a Dan type game. You basically dig a hole, let things drop through. Something that was stolen for Horace and Spiders. I mean, this is the thing. All these concepts. To be fair, with the limited memory, I guess it was bound to happen that people were going to clone things. There was only so many things you could do. So I guess you could easily say, well, I came to the idea of doing a Space Invader myself, or Pac-Man clone myself, because what else was there to do realistically with the memory? I mean, there was other things, but they were limited, and those ones that were successful were, did something, one or two things very solidly. Attic Attack does a lovely maze moving around, collection dropping, whatever else is. It does it really, really well. Jetpack does things really well. I mean, these are all Ultimate games I'm mentioning at the moment. They do it really, really well. That pinball game does it really, really well. But it's one of those games of its time kind of thing. So yeah, I guess they had no other option but to clone certain things, and sometimes they did it better. Sometimes some of the clones are really, really, really good. So I've got a copy of lying around on my just maybe go through at some point. I've got a game called Gobble a Ghost, which is basically Pac-Man, but apparently it's a very good Pac-Man. I did try it, I think, as part of one of my pickups, and I remember it being quite a good sort of version of Pac-Man. But it wasn't Pac-Man; it was called Gobble a Ghost, which is a really dodgy name for anything. But yeah, it was really good. I do like this thing, by the way. But that guy looks like he's I don't know what he's doing. He's like stretching for his help. Help, you blasting off without me, isn't he? It's like his little hand going out like that. That's maybe what's happened. Maybe he's been left on the planet, tragically left by his buddies there, in the spaceship there. They thought he was dead. It's the Martian all over again. That one with, what's he called in it? Matt Damon. Matt Damon! You know the one? No. You've obviously not seen the movie. Matt Damon! Anyway, but you know, when he got left behind on the planet. It was quite a good movie, actually. Quite liked that one. Quite enjoyed that one. It was there was the right level of action, sort of pseudoscience and other things. We got left behind on Mars, but it was kind of cool. I quite enjoyed that one. Quite a good movie. Actually, thinking about movies, there's something bugging me that I have to discuss. I didn't plan to discuss this. Blade Runner, right? Blade Runner's a classic. Everybody knows it's a classic, and it's a great movie. It really is. I love Blade Runner. I've probably seen every variation of the movie. I think it's a fantastic movie. The whole thing, the stylization and look of it is just stunning. It's brilliant, right? So Blade Runner, great movie, and of course there's been a new one with Ryan Gosling in it in 2049. Now I was starting to watch a review from another YouTuber, and I'm not gonna put a comment in that thing of his channel because you can go find him because it annoyed me so much. He did a keyboard. This could just be Space Invaders, by the way. And he pressed any key. He did a review of Eye for Instructions. All right. On your way back from Earth, from a mining expedition in deep space, you pick up a distress call from what you thought was a lifeless lump of rock. Putting your ship into geostationary orbit around the planet, you take a small landing craft down to the surface. Cool. You soon realise that someone or something doesn't want you there. Finally, you manage to land on the rocky terrain to discover the last survivors of a reconnaissance ship, Alpha 2, thought to have been destroyed 8 years ago. Ooh. Unfortunately, your landing craft have only carried 2 people at a time, so you will have to make several trips to pick up all the survivors. As you save more people, the unknown inhabitants of the planet throw more and more devastating war machines at you, trying to bring your mission Mercy to an abrupt end. There's the keys. Oh, that's handy. ZX NM hold thrust start. Use thrust to open the door on the mothership. Right, okay. So thrust fire. Right, okay. I'm going to do that. Press any key to continue. S to start, wasn't it? Is that right? 0 keyboard first. S to start. S to start. Here we go. Okay, 1 man. Right. So thrust to open the door on the mothership. Oh my goodness. This looks good actually though. I quite like the look of this. SOS from Vision Software. So I guess I land on here. Yeah, and there comes the person. Cool. They get on board. Oh my goodness. But you thrust up automatically. Can I? Hang on. Where's the fire? What when I fire? Do I fire down? Fire down. I guess I fire up when I'm coming up. Right. That's it. You fire down. Right. I'll fire upwards when I get this on board. There's like a TIE fighter there. Do you notice that? That's actually really good. I like that. Let's try that again. SOS. I didn't expect that to be that good actually. This is I've often said these are the single screen arcade games. I know the Spectrums are capable of so much more, but the early sort of 48K and the one, and 16K ones, these are kind of the games. These are the ones I wanted to play. I don't like the fact that it changes. Oh my goodness, that's really tough. I like it though. I like it. I think you can thrust faster though, can't you? I can definitely thrust that. I'm going to go over here. Yes! That was a good idea, wasn't it? The thrust faster doesn't thrust that much faster, you know. I've got it! I landed one! Oh, wow. I landed one. And it was better to go to the further ones than it is to go to the other ones because the aliens... Damn you. The aliens don't seem to come the same route when they come that way. If you go to the middle one, you're in trouble. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to go to the middle one. Oh, no. No, crashed it. Crashed it. Wait. Open the mothership. Looks like a big kitty. It's like Hello Kitty. There we go. Oh, we landed. Right, excellent. Right, okay. Fire. Yes, look at this. We're going for it. Welcome to the mothership. Oh no, he's fell out. He's died. Oh, brilliant. Love it. That's excellent. That's so cool. I like it. This is a great game. I need a copy. Vision Software SOS. Yes, that's an arcade game that I need to play. That's really good. Simon Finch with a double F. Or do you think it's back to front? No, it's not. It's definitely Simon Finch. Simon Finch, SOS, Vision Software. Right, I've got to remember that one. That's definitely going to get played. Let's see what else is on this tape because we're so close. And then we've got TLL. So we'll do TLL. I'm gonna have lunch though before I play TLL. So I'll come back after that and I'll be all fresh like a daisy. Why are daisies fresh, by the way? Oh, this could be a bad one to finish on. No, it's not. It's not reading it. Doesn't sound good, does it? That's a weird sound it's making. Yeah. Okay, let's see. We're very close to the end of the tape. And it's finished. So there wasn't actually any more data on the end of the tape. Right, okay. You stay there. Get yourself comfortable, right? Just stay there. You've got a couple of seconds while I waffle for 1 second while I turn off what I'm connected to. And I'll come back with TLL very shortly. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Okay, so we're back with TLL, so that's been loaded. I actually managed to load it on the normal Spectrum, but from a tape. I guess that sometimes the data is a bit corrupt on these things, so I guess that's why it didn't work. So I've been on it a couple of times. You can see we've got a high score of 15 and 37 from the last game I actually played. Very good game. But I realised as I was loading this that I didn't finish off my statement, because I started reading the instructions to that SOS game, and I didn't realise I'd actually forgotten to go through the rest of the thing that I was talking about. The Blade Runner 2049. And this review from this gentleman who had clearly not watched it, because even within the first 30 seconds it defuncts his argument. Now the particular person was called Critical Drinker, and he sort of reviews things as if he's slightly drunk. I have to admit, I wasn't overly impressed by the Critical Drinker. He wasn't. I wouldn't call him critical in any way, shape, or form. It was actually quite a disappointing review. He attempts to sort of suggest that there's no evidence for this, that, and the other, and whatever else is. And when you actually play or watch the movie, as I say, literally the first 10 minutes destroys all of his arguments. And to be fair, I've watched some of his things before and I've quite enjoyed them. And this one, I was like mortified. In fact, I don't think he even watched Blade Runner, the first one, because he goes, I thought replicants were all meant to die. Well, Rachel's a replicant, if you know Blade Runner. I'm sorry if I spoil it for you if you don't know what it is. Rachel's a replicant. And by the way, I'm playing TLL as we're doing at the moment. I'm going slow. That's me going fast. It's going fast. Slow. You're meant to find these little targets that are on the ground to do it. But Rachel is a replicant without an expiry date, so she doesn't die after 4 or 5 years, which is their usual length of time for a replicant. She's also an experimental one that Tyrell Corporation creates. Mr. Tyrell himself creates this experimental version of replicant. He wants to know if he can create life. So the fact that and I'm sorry if I spoil it for you, the fact that she has had a child in the new movie does not surprise me in any way, shape or form, because he wished to experiment with the actual, replicants and their abilities and whatever else. And to be fair, they seem to be, although genetically modified and engineered to be faster and stronger and whatever else is, they just seem to be sort of general, general purpose tools, as a question of slavery and other things that go with it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't not make sense, if that makes sense. He was actually striving to create a new race, I think, was the answer. So when the things rebelled, and there was a number of other things, and they solved a few other issues with the storyline and the sense of dealing with a few how this didn't happen and how they haven't got information and where they're at. It makes a lot of sense. Anyway, this gentleman sort of clearly hadn't even watched the first 30 seconds of the movie. You have to watch 35 seconds of the movie, and you get all of this information given to you. So it's not a surprise that it's actually there. So anyway, right, TLL, we've got to find these little targets that are on the ground. You fill up with fuel. You take off and you fly. When you pop the wings back in, you go really fast, and when you pop the wings back out, you go really slow. Now, I should have looked at the map again, because it actually shows you where they are. You see these little circles? They're some of the targets, but they're not. It hasn't got an X in it, so it's not the one I'm looking for. So you're looking for a target basically along the way to do it. But yeah, I managed to get it to load on the normal +2. But yeah, this is TLL. It looks really nice. It plays really well. It's very smooth. I quite like it. It's a tough game though, because once you get down to sort of, if you were going to get one of these, for instance, you'd have to get down here, and as you can see, you don't stop because it's a plane. Obviously, it's not a Harrier, and you sort of fly around like that. Ooh, Harrier Jump Jet. Was that a game? Yes, it was, wasn't it? Was that by Durell? Yes, it was. Harrier Attack. Could you hover in that? I can't remember. I've played it a few times, and I can't remember if you can hover in that one. I'm sure there's a Harrier game where you can actually hover in it when you've got Harrier, but you basically pass over the top of that there, and that would be your points. So that's it. That's TLL. I'm not even gonna continue on beyond this. But anyway, thank you for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you next week with another episode. A new tape, actually. I think we're gonna dig back into Douglas's past. I think with a nice grimy flood tape. I think, because it was amazing that one loaded last time. And we had a lot of fun with that, because there was a lot of personal sort of loaded programs and whatever else it is. So we might dig back into that. Anyway, I've been your host, Real Genetic Demon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye now.